We've all heard the saying, everything's bigger in Texas. It just so happens that this is true whether you're talking about the size of the state, your average family home, or even what you can get out of your wallet during a shopping spree. The same idea holds true when comparing how people around the world do things. When you move to a new country, culture, and lifestyle, you might encounter things that seem very different from what you're used to. Sometimes it's strange, but mostly it's very exciting. Here are 10 things that can be really different. 10. Pharmaceutical advertising. If you've ever been anywhere in Europe and wanted to watch TV, there's a good chance that you noticed the differences in the different available formats. Some major advertisers are taking advantage of the digital world by only advertising during commercial breaks on television to avoid interrupting your show or movie, making this option more cost-effective for them, but also beneficial for you because you're not interrupted every time something new comes on the screen. Outside of the USA and New Zealand, it is illegal for pharmaceutical companies to participate in direct-to-consumer marketing, including airing TV commercials. It's a breath of fresh air to not hear all the potential side effects that can come with trying to delay hair loss or manage depression. It's also scary to know what the side effects are at every turn, but thankfully none of these are as egregious as losing your hair or battling with depression. If you really think about it, it seems like a very strange idea and can easily leave one wondering whether or not this type of advertising should be legal anywhere. It's reminiscent of old-school snake oil salesmen. It would be a more sensible world if they were only marketing to doctors and other medical professionals. 9. Garbage disposal. The use of that convenient thing in your kitchen sink that chops up unwanted vegetables can be falsely responsible for environmental damage. The blades often end up catching on the sink's basin and cutting the fingers of users who are not careful. Rotten fruit cores also occasionally get stuck in between parts. It may take a while for clogged pipes to clear up. Many people don't realize that waste disposal often has bigger impacts on the environment than the waste itself. This is another reality you may come to experience if you put something down your kitchen sink that shouldn't be going down the drain. All of that water is recycled and reused via treatment plants. You should consider if you've put anything in your sink, disposal or not, because it might have gone back into the water supply. Treatment can only remove so much, so try to limit what you dispose of in order to keep the local aqua clean. After a global study in Australia, it was discovered that sending food that would have been otherwise thrown away down the disposal is 3 times worse than simply throwing it into a landfill. And they're banned in many European countries, including New York City. The debate is ongoing there on whether to fund expensive projects to fund prevent programs instead of recycling and expanding landfill sites. 8. Shady product price labels. The prices in stores are all over the place. We know that taxes are inevitable, but sometimes shopping out of pocket can be tough too. Some people just don't do math well, so you have to be careful of the percentages offered by businesses. It's hard not to get taken advantage of when their hidden amounts are added on. In the EU, there are no surprise costs on anything. Customers often choose to purchase products online because they dislike the high prices of items in stores. They want to minimize the amount of brick-and-mortar shopping they need to do and try to curb their carbon footprint. Retail stores should be more transparent about tax and price tags according to these customers who prefer this option. You might be thinking this may sound like a great idea, but sellers are not allowed to charge extra for using any kind of credit or debit card. It may be time for the US to start adopting practices from other countries. 7. Supersized food portions. Have you ever forgotten that fries often come in more than one size, or was there a time when you specifically asked for the larger size at the drive-thru or counter? It's possible this has happened to you before. French fries are amazing, everyone's favorite, even if they may be smaller than your cravings. It's hard to believe that we don't all thoroughly scour the bottom of the bag for stray fries, but that's just a part of our culture and something we all love. However, according to many Europeans, it seems like a weirdly British thing. It seems rather unusual to have portion sizes for meals in other countries smaller than our usual portions. It's not hard to see why obesity is on the rise, especially with massive-sized meals. If freedom means doing anything you want, you have to accept the consequences that come with it. 6. How are you? As a hello greeting. It's normal to hear, "How are you?" as a go-to greeting. You might hear it anytime, anywhere, even when you're not hiding indoors from a pandemic. Maybe your friend asked how your week is going, or you want to know how long someone has been waiting to use the restroom at the supermarket. You probably won't get a reply from the person you contacted. This is likely because they aren't expected to provide an answer, and it would be surprising if they did. In Europe, people might give a full monologue answer about someone's day. Having a pleasant and casual conversation with people in the airport will probably go smoother than you imagine. If you're worried about having a lot of conversations, just say hello and keep it simple. 5. Free drink refills. A supersized meal is generally getting charged for premium pricing, so people are inevitably going to go overboard. This has led many people to turn to 2 or more supersized meals than one regular size. There's nothing wrong with that, though. A yes is a yes. But if you're feeling guilty about it, you don't have to. Americans are unique in many ways, but one of those is that they generally don't use debit or credit cards. They're expected to pay for everything they imbibe. This is another common practice in the US that you will not experience many other places. In most other countries, especially throughout Europe, you are expected to pay for everything you imbibe. When you are asked about the cost of your beverages, it is reasonable to assume that they are adjusted accordingly. They also need to be able to make sure they have enough ice at the ready. 4. Red Solo Cups. The red beer cup has 61 million views because it is both well-known and appears to be a favorite of many people. It helps that the song Toby Keith created to go along with his 1991 hit, Red Solo Cup, also has over 1 million views on YouTube. This convenient dish features instructions to make your meat, vegetables, and cheese mayo-laden tacos within minutes. But the fame of the cup stays within the borders of the USA. It is unlikely you will be able to find these revered beer receptacles outside the States. Most countries have improved their regulations on alcoholic beverages, making it less likely that there will be either alcohol in public places or the need to hide it. 3. Tipping. If you have been to a US restaurant recently, or if you know about the prevalent culture here, then this statement probably won't surprise you. The idea that an employee's salary comes directly from a customer and can go up or down based on quality is unique in American culture. Despite this reality, it is seen as the norm, with most foreigners finding it difficult to grasp. When you travel, people often feel obligated to leave an additional tip for the service they received. Some cultures are very constrained with tipping etiquette, while some accept it as a normal part of life. While it may seem common, users should always make an effort to tip taxi drivers in some parts of Central America. A lot of people have experienced a confusing exchange in this area, and there's a good chance the driver was trying to help them in some way. It is important to recognize tipping customs in destination you are visiting before you go. Traveling without research about the local customs could lead to causing offense and discomfort for yourself or others. 2. To-go coffee. We wouldn't be so reliant on our coffee options, even Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, if it wasn't for black gold. That means the concept of to-go coffee would never have reached such a level of fame. Amersha is what unifies us in most ways. We want convenience and fast food in order to maintain our busy lifestyles. This is especially obvious in the way we consume coffee on the go, which symbolizes America's love of fast everything. Though many people around the world enjoy coffee as a way to spend time with friends or on their own, coffee is usually meant to be savored from something ceramic. But this is opposite so many other places in the world, where coffee is meant to be a leisure activity to be savored from a ceramic cup over a conversation with a friend or sitting through an emotional concert. Coffee is a ritual done quickly, and as such, has as much meaning as the energy it provides, as well as the place of service where it's consumed. Find a French press and use it at home. This is an easy way to make coffee for yourself, and it tastes better than what you find at the store. Plus, there's no waiting for your coffee maker to warm up. 1. Having huge gaps under stalls in public bathrooms. Events can be a nightmare when it comes to public loos. As everyone knows, nothing sounds more wonderful than using a public toilet, especially if you're standing in a line that might be hours long. Add this reality into the mix and it's obvious why most people hate the experience to start with. It's unfortunate sometimes that you will need to use the handicapped toilet. These gaps between the toilet and the door and the floor don't make it more comfortable for anyone. You can see the people outside on their way to another stall and notice your neighbor's feet. It doesn't feel very cozy here. In Europe, public restrooms aren't so public. You get to use a full enclosed room with the partition going all the way down. It is designed in a way that makes it impossible to see anyone or any other area in the restroom. Because of this, there is not much in terms of ventilation or lighting, making it an uncomfortable place to be. And yes, this is not a privacy fee. It is now a maintenance fee. If you understand the process of how toilets work, it is more than fair that toilets are cleaned regularly. You may also see bidets provided freely in many Japanese hotels in many developing countries. It is a preferred method of sanitation. You are also expected to throw used toilet paper in the waste bin rather than flushing.